Hi, hello, little creatures. Today we have the most amazing astrologer here, Julian from Olympus Astrology. He does ancient astrology, and we're going to be looking into my celebrity crush, Kodi Smitt Mcphee. So let's commence. Julian, tell us a bit about his lovely chart. And if Kodi, if you're here, if you're seeing this, I love you.
Oh my God. All right, let's dive right in. I'm not going to spend too much time cracking up about your celebrity crush. Um, I'm pretty blown away that this is yours, this is your celebrity crush kind of thing. Because we got a lot of esoteric aspects in his chart here. So he was born pretty close to a new moon. He was born on the last day of the month, which is of the lunar month, which is when the moon is visible for the last time, and then it becomes dark. So it's a very dark time, with a lot of, it's more difficult for their material life, but it's very good for their spiritual life. It can really give them a lot of impetus for growth. And he also has Mars and Mercury together in the Pleiades, which is a lot of people have heard about Pleiadians, things like that. And sadly, whatever you've heard about Pleiadians either is incorrect or is not the whole story, because the stars of the Pleiades themselves are very, very, they can be positive, making people, esoteric and spiritual, but they're morally neutral, and they are usually evil even. So people with the Pleiades have a lot of kind of tests. They've been given certain spiritual powers, and they're being tested in this life to see how they're going to use them. Will they use them for the right kind of cause, or will they use it to serve their own spiritual desires? Spiritual, personal desires, sorry. And having Mars there, Mars is also invisible. His Venus is invisible. So Moon, Mars, Venus, all invisible. Very lots of darkness in the chart, which is interesting. This is a guy with a, we don't know his birth time, so that doesn't help the situation. But just looking at the planets, it's a guy going through a lot of spiritual tests. He probably has some. Did you say you think he has some weird esoteric?
Oh, really? On his like Instagram, people say my taste in men is like psychopaths.
Yes, your taste in
In
men
terms,
definitely
like,
is
in terms
psychopath.
of their vibe.
Looking at your chart, I'm not surprised. But yeah, definitely, because this is pretty. It's pretty dark. It's a pretty dark looking chart. I wish I knew the birth time, obviously, but just looking at the planets, it's pretty dark. Obviously, he's very successful because we're talking about him. And that's because he has this Jupiter moon trine. His Jupiter's in Sagittarius, his moon is in Aries, and they're in a trine. So that Jupiter moon trine is very, very lucky. Pretty much anytime you see that in a chart, you've got some kind of, if not a celebrity, you've got some kind of very successful person on your hands, CEOs or bosses or uh, somebody at the top of the food chain, basically, to put it in a funny way. Because the moon is people and Jupiter is love. So the people, the masses, they love you, when you've got this Jupiter moon trine. Anyway, I can talk about this chart for fucking ages. It's so interesting. But what is it that you've got there, Colin, with your cards, if anything?
The things I have, there's two angels associated with the Ten of Wands here. So
Mm,
the Fabio Lastrani deck, very powerful
yeah.
imagery. We have the Master of Spiritual Forces, white magic for well-being of others, facilitates visions, which is Nith Haya, and Haiha, that is adaptability, scientific, political attitudes in regard to divine science, seeks truth through reason, when negative desires for earthly power or poor consequences. With the Eight of Wands, the element of fire enters Hod, the realm of the intellect, logic, ruled by Mercury. This is an area, much to its delight. Swiftness is what is demanded in here. Decisive action and high speed motives. This is a very intelligent individual. This is someone that this
Yes.
also stands for sudden realizations, quick brainwaves. It can tell that the solution. This is lightning. This is electricity. So there might be some of that electrical underworld energy here from the electricity. It reminds us that spirit needs freedom to fly, for otherwise it won't work at its best. The shadow side of this card means that we waste too much time with disputing and all kinds of tidbits. So there is a battle in the mind to an extent. Instead of moving quick and decisively, another aspect of this card is that it's the size of the dose that makes the poisonous effective. If we rush too much, we'll end up with a mass particles that won't do us any good. So he's learning this to slow down. He's someone who is in the future, but the material is the thing that's like he's hitting into. So he's truly a creature that is from above, learning and moving into the physical here. So a lot of future orientation happening.
It's very interesting. Yeah, that electrical kind of energy is very, very curious because that Mars-Mercury conjunction is about, generally it's scholastic, but it's also about having a very active, energetic mind. It's kind of a little bit ADHD, maybe. Yeah, I know that sounds, it's kind of a, what's the word, a bit of a trope kind of description, but it's just somebody whose mind has a lot of energy and they can focus it. When they can focus it, it's very, very powerful. And that is happening, as I've been saying, in the Pleiades, these stars of the witches or the stars of magic. So either this guy is a serial killer, or like, I'm not joking, or he's definitely got fingers in all kinds of esoteric pies. You know, he probably is interested in what we're talking in this sort of thing. But then when it comes to famous people, you never quite know. Like I know Sylvester Stallone has a lot of esoteric stuff, and my friend's pretty sure he's a Freemason. So it's that sort of thing of their when they have these big esoteric markers, there's a lot of different avenues that can take them on. And especially with this one, it's more dark than not with the Pleiades. The Pleiades, when men have the Pleiades, look, most serial killers, who are obviously men,
By the way,
have
he played a killer in the Power of the Dog.
no way.
That was his whole part.
That's so hectic. But yeah, most serial killers, they have Mars in the Pleiades, just like he has. I remember I did a video and my friend was like, "Oh, let's look at this guy's chart." And I go, "Oh, who is this person?" And he goes, "Oh, he's a serial killer." And I went, "Oh, okay. Well, we can expect that we'll see the moon or Mars in the Pleiades." And we opened up the chart, boom, Mars in the Pleiades. Didn't even have to look at it to know that it was there. And well, that's what this guy's got. Obviously, it doesn't mean that he's a serial killer. I'm not saying that, but it is a very dark energy. And the Pleiades are primarily known for manipulation. So there is that kind of tendency there. Yeah, not 100% sure what to make of it.
I feel like that he's somebody that's extremely knows exactly what he wants, very calculated, very efficient. I feel that he's an extremely pragmatic person, very Mercurian, not as much affiliative or oriented towards that kind of energy, more like what is the goal, what's the quickest way to go here. I think he does have his own values, his own morality that comes from a very internal, individualistic place. It's not anyone else's. It's his own, and he's striving towards that very sexual, projecting this beautiful, plume of feathers as his aspirational aspect, his feminine side that he's moving towards and whatnot. So this is someone who's very introverted, very condensed in their energy. In regard to this is in regard to their curse. What's interesting here, there's a coldness to them. We have here the Knight of Swords. This is fire and air. For the curse, we have there's a lot of sharp-mindedness. So sometimes he who lives by the sword dies by the sword. So it might be the arrows that he has in his mind or for what he wants often, or the downfall of a lot of people. I think that there's a trickster energy there. It's lacking the depth of water and the stability of earth. So the sword, the ammunition is very, very powerful. The other side of the curse is really fascinating because we have the Four of Cups. So we have the moon and the third decan of Cancer. So the emotions, there's a lack, and it's in reverse. So there's a lack of stability. There's a weird kind of stability in the emotions, weird kind of possessiveness, restriction of others in order to satisfy one's own self. So there's a controlling energy for the gratifications of one's desires and everything. This is someone who is an arrow and is able to, slice through other people with precision, I think. So I would say that the Four of Cups is not quite the best choice ever. Behind the glamour of the Four of the Golden Cups is the gray tresses of emptiness, what is already lurking. So there's this emptiness when it comes to the emotional body. There is almost the sword, the thinking is almost too good. It's like that's the curse, that you can have whatever you want, but maybe what you want is too powerful, or maybe not the best thing. So, and it was interesting. He has a very complex curse side. Has two cards. I usually never see two cards popping out when it comes to someone's curse. So very, very complex individual, especially when it comes to their dark side.
Looks like it. Yes, it definitely looks like it. Yeah, well, you may get your wish, Colin. He might stumble across this video, on his search for esoteric knowledge that we can both see.
Absolutely.
Fascinating. I think we've done our little mini reading. I mean, was there anything else you wanted to add?
I want to add that his blessing is, in a way, he has this self-sacrificial energy that's really powerful. That's actually part of his demon. His most demonic side is this self-sacrificial destruction of one's own physical safety in regard to the full capturing of the fire of the future that he wants to embody. This Nietzschean energy is truly part of, flows within his veins. He's cut from the same cloth as Nietzsche in some ways. There's a renouncing of instincts, separation from the mother, desire to be free from the materiality. This is part of his blessing. So I feel he has this power to ascend the physical in a way that others don't. It is fire and water. So we have the divine will, and we have it mixing with something else as well. It's something that cannot be described in words. So it's a paradoxical effect between the feminine that isn't always in harmony with the intense energy of the king. But it's like it's the mastery of the emotions. I feel like he's very in control of his emotions. It is from the Holy Grail. There is a crab, Cancer. It's the symbol of internal absorption that has moved and stepped into consciousness. So marine creatures are like these Piscean creatures that are able to transmit life and receive life. Their verse movement and mysterious life nuances, it shows the dark mystery inside. There's this beautiful feminine mastery inside of him that he brings to the surface. And I feel like what he portrayed in The Power of the Dog, when he brought that beautiful feminine energy, was actually really in him. It's actually a part of him. This reading would suggest that the mastering of the emotions. So it's the king of the Holy Grail. So I feel like he's also someone who's very romantic, and one of his blessings is overcoming the sexual impulses and all of this. I feel like he's kind of got this mastery from past lives. This is the one who heals the wounds, the pure Thor, who won knowledge with sympathy. The spear in his hand touched the healed Amfortas wounds, because now realized that this was his wound too. So represents people, any field of life, extensive experience as well. So the king is the blessing, the mastery of these kind of things. So, and I feel like that's why he's amazing at acting, is because he is a master the emotions. He's obviously done. I don't know if do you see this in his past lives, that he has kind of that he has a lot of mastery with these the arts of the emotion and conjuring things with this and this aspect of development.
It could be. I think I would need to I'd need to know the birth time to see that, but that does make sense. It would be very interesting to see. It doesn't surprise me, especially by the description. I mean, it sounds like he's a Saturnian kind of guy, with all this Venus and Mars activity that's happening. Because I would need to know if he was born at day or night. But it does sound, yeah, that emotional and kind of even sexual background, sexual foundation that's been established
and
there.
sexual
It's very
instinct too,
strong.
the sexual instinct in the
Definitely.
broader sense, like being able to be this attractive kind of thing. I would say it's also independent, difficult to hold, to pin down, this mysterious nature, this sensitivity, dreamy nature. This is the best side of him. This is why he's so phenomenal at acting, and I think he'll go really far. What do you think? How far do you think he'll go in his career?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a super powerhouse chart from what I can see anyway, but it's certainly positive. It looks good. But yeah, it's not, it's not like as far as I can see anyway, it's not a Brad Pitt kind of style chart. We'll look at some of those another time, these big celebrities. But definitely good for success. Yeah, interesting trials along the way though, which is kind of curious. But yeah, he'll do fine. He'll do well enough. There's no doubt about that.
And Kodi, if you're watching this, look at I Ching 18th hexagram. So that's part of your blessing in this incarnation. So thanks to all the little creatures and all my little babies that are watching this. Thank you. I wanted to appreciate you for, please like and subscribe. Comment your favorite scene from a Kodi Smitt Mcphee movie. Just send all the love, through in the comment section. So if he's watching this, he knows how appreciated he is by my audience. And I wanted to invite everyone lastly to go support Julian. He is literally the best. Any kind of psychic thing I've ever paid for, he is, and I've seen like about 20 different people I've paid for and experienced. Julian is the best. I recommend all of my friends to him. You have to get a reading from him. You have to. There's no other way around it. You're seeing this, you're here for a reason. The depth of mastery that he has with it is like, I feel the energy. I literally had a spiritual awakening after he gave me a reading. So, and please use the code Lugal and you'll get a beautiful discount. And yeah, so also subscribe to his channel, Olympus Astrology, and go and send him all that love. And because we're going to be doing a lot more videos, and they're going to be the ones I'm doing the readings with him are going to be on his channel. So thank you, everyone.
I'll see you guys all over there. Bye.